Any actual millionaires in this subreddit? I just became 30. I have about 3 mil net worth. It came mostly from working and buying properties in 2010 in Seattle. Nothing fancy. Most of my stuff is non-liquid, tied to assets or retirement in general, and I still work in a software developer role while my wife finishes college. I think the biggest difference is that I don't worry at all about getting Starbucks or traveling to see a friend or my parents if I want to. Note, I'm a pretty boring person. The first time I realized that I was millionaire was about 1999 in Italy. It came totally unexpected. First I was like, hey, I need some cash. Let's go to the ATM. Then I was like, oh shit. I am millionaire now. My suggestion would be to get a few $100s ready and move to Belarus. Several times over. Hit the first million at 30 and the next came a lot easier. Why the hell would I have regrets? I worked hard and it paid off big. I tried a lot of things before I started seeing some success, which turned into a lot of success. Been poor. Been rich. Rich is better. Money doesn't buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in a Mercedes than cry on a bike. Joined the company as the first employee, 22 YO. Couldn't pay me very well. So they gave me equity in the company. CEO is brilliant and winds up in the top 50 under 50. 4 years later the company was sold to the largest ad agency in Canada and I walked away with just shy of 1 mil. I reinvested that money into my own venture. Started a consulting company. Hired an incredible biz dev guy that I worked with in Cali and we sold our book of business for $600K a piece 1 year later. I then reinvested that money into another venture. Started a SaaS product that was really helpful. Spent a huge chunk of that $600K on marketing and sales presentations. After one sales presentation, I was approached by a competing company who offered me 1.5 M to liquidate us, and that was that. I reinvested into a diverse stock portfolio and bought some properties in Tobago, where I reside 6 months out of the year, which are income properties. Was asked to join an ad firm as a partner CTO. I work 9-5. From home, or wherever. I have a fairly substantial stake in this company now. I'm just waiting for another buyout. Then I might retire. I have no regrets. It took a lot of hard work and sleepless nights to get here. I finally feel like I can relax a bit and enjoy life. My only advice is to not think about figures, like 1 million. Just think of ways you can earn it and be willing to put everything you have into it. Edit, formatting and spelling. 1. I built an online multi-channel business. Selling anything I could get my hands on, then focusing on specific niche categories. 2. I had more fun during the startup phase than when the company was over 5M annual revenue. After the 3rd year, I hated every minute of it. 3. Regrets. Many, but they also taught me a lot, so technically just lessons. Biggest was probably caring too much. 4. The initial journey was amazing. I was able to prove to myself daily I did it. I started with a single $500 credit card in 2010. Multi-channel business. Yay. I sold items through eBay, Amazon, Rakuten, Sears. Own sites, 3 of them. Newegg, Best Buy, Walmart and Jet. Only very recently hit a 1mm net worth. Sold a business I started 14 years ago. I'm 38. Advice? Learn a business and then go out on your own and grow it by working hard, being honest, and treating your staff like family. As for how I felt, not much. In my case, it was something I worked a long time for. So it wasn't like being an overnight millionaire. Like aging. It happens so slow that the changes are subtle over time. Regrets? None. I wouldn't say it's life-changing. Though my net worth is only just over 1mm. I'd agree that money will intensify any flaws you have. For example, you like to drink on the weekend? You might find yourself a full-blown alcoholic. I am definitely not more happy now. Even though you would think so. I am not unhappy %. It's just the initial climb is so much fun. I am only 2 months out of selling my business and I am already itching to be a part of something. To not work at 38 feels like when everyone around you is cleaning while you are sitting on the couch playing video games. To those who say they wouldn't know what to do with themselves if they were rich, that's why golf was invented. Damn, this thread hit me right in the feels. I'm not a millionaire or rich by any means, but I have enough semi-passive income to support myself and pay bills without having a real job. The more money I make, the lazier I get. If I were to become an overnight millionaire, I'd be even more lazy and unmotivated. I'd just move into a much nicer house. Can definitely relate to you guys in here. Money isn't everything. Gotta find something that gives you purpose and makes you want to get out of bed. I'm still working on that. I just hit 34 and worth over 10. In assets well over 40, as retail stores have grown in value over the course of many years. My advice would be to be kind and generous to anyone and everyone. The power of nice goes a long way and karma comes back in one way or another. Grow your network with positive people. Don't waste your time. This is such a valuable point. People spend days procrastinating or just being lazy. If you aren't doing anything, then get in the habit of reading. Read. 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 Be patient and humble. Spend time on what you're talented on. Always experiment new things on smaller scale, and if it takes off, go 100% at it head on like a train. In my mid-20s, I bootstrapped my last company to $1 million in revenue in 3.5 years, then sold it for a nice chunk of change. Making that kind of money cost me friendships, relationships, my dogs, long story. They are in good hands, just no longer mine. My sanity and physical health. Well, the money didn't literally make me sick, but working all those 12-16 hour days did. I'm still not fully recovered and it's been over a year since I sold. Although I'm doing better, but had to blow most of my cash on treatments. I've done a lot of fun things and had a lot of amazing experiences when I had money, but recently I've come to realize how unimportant all those things were. I'm now in a stable relationship with marriage potential. Just got a new dog. And pretty much don't go out to expensive events, clubs, bars, concerts, movies, etc. anymore, and I'm actually much happier. Most of that stuff is actually pretty boring and driven by consumer culture. I'd much rather go for a hike with my girlfriend and puppy, come home and BBQ some steaks and spend quality time with my girl and dog. My money's pretty much gone now, but I couldn't care less. Working on new project now with a ton of earning potential, but will likely take a year or more to pay off. But I'm fine with that. Might start up consulting soon to cover a few bills on the side. I was 28 when our little startup was acquired. In my experience, it is much more difficult to make huge dollars now with a small bootstrap startup. It was much easier 20 years ago when the internet was new. I have had multiple failures in a row now after 2 decent successes when I was younger. My advice is take big risks now when you most likely have little to lose. Also, $1 million is not going to last you long term most likely these days. You want at least $5 million if you want to live a good life in a major city and not worry about getting a job ever again. I am not there yet and might never be. Life is really long and it gets expensive when you have a family. With that said, money does not bring you happiness. Good strong relationships and fun life experiences do. For me at least. How? Founded fatwilly.com. Ran it for 12 or so years and then sold it. Advice? Profit is an indicator that you are doing the other things right. I never saw it as the reason to be. Regrets? I'm sure I left a lot on the table by not getting good outside guidance earlier. The feels? Sometimes life moves pretty fast. While the business was certainly successful, there was always something lurking that could devastate the business outside of our control. I like the phrase picking up dimes in front of a steamroller. You can do it, but you gotta be quick. First mill? Thinking it was 2004 or so. Celebrated with my dream car. Still have it. It's just worth a lot less now. The journey? Best non-traditional education anyone could ask for. So many realizations on the way. One day I got so frustrated that every problem that came to me was really hard. It was then that I realized that was because the easy ones had been taken care of before they got to my desk. Open to follow-up questions. You will fail if you chase numbers. As soon you think I don't care money, the real game begins, and if it's now 900k or 1100k doesn't really matter. Money is a tool, not a goal. Don't know if we are actual millionaires yet because a lot of our portfolio is in real estate and prices are very volatile in our area, but we are at least getting close. It was a pretty odd feeling when we realized we had more money than anyone in my family had ever had. That was only $200,000. It isn't as life-changing as you'd like to think. While it's great to have the money and reduces the stress of knowing about the future, I don't think it changes too much short term. After all, the reason most people gain that million is that they don't spend a lot of money. As someone else posted, the book The Millionaire Next Door is a good read and talks about how millionaires are not usually who you think of from movies. By net worth. Yes. But I'd have to sell my house to collect. And I like having a roof over my head, so I'm not going that route. I'm an attorney by day. But when the housing market crashed in 2008 and 2009, I purchased 2 properties. One was a straight up flip investment property. The other was my house. The investment property cost me $45,000. And I invested about $25,000 to $30,000 to fix it up and then sold it for $135,000. Not a huge deal. But I took every cent of that and used it to improve the house I lived in, which we bought for $699,000 and is now appraised at $1.2 million. I owe $640,000 on the mortgage. It's real estate wealth. However, and I question whether it's real. It doesn't feel real. After the crash, I also upped my investment game a lot and have really beefed up my retirement savings. Again, I could pull the money out of retirement accounts, but I don't consider it truly liquid. I don't have any regrets. I'm 39 though. And had I started my own law firm years ago, instead of this year, I would probably have a few million in liquid cash to access right now. Full stop. I can offer my parents stories. My mother grew up in a humble Navy family. Graduated from an elite law school in the 80s and got a job quickly because everyone wanted to hire young lawyers at the time. She worked her ass off, going from public to private practice, back to public, now back in private, and she now makes top lawyer money. Like top lawyer money. Like it works out to like $1,000 an hour. Just a story of hard work on her part. My father also grew up in a humble middle working class family and also got a law degree from an elite university, which he paid for using student loans that he quickly paid back with the job in litigation, which he ended up hating and quickly quit. He wanted to shape his own schedule and also take a path that could lead him to financial freedom later in life. He started a legal recruiting company as the 3rd biggest owner and eventually was making high 6 figures to $1 million a year while working 35-hour weeks. I don't know how he did it. He's an incredible people person and very intelligent, so I guess that's it. He always said the reason people would come to him about career decisions is because they trusted him. He sold it like 9 years ago before the market meltdown and cleared more than a few million, but less than, say, 9 million. Anyway, this helped to increase our family's net worth to just over the 8-figure mark today, and now might add works at a non-profit for no salary. Negative. Really? Since he donates money, and my parents also paid off our mortgage, and so we're also sitting on a full-owned house worth nearly $3 million, included in net worth. Their advice to you would be simple. Don't get into too much debt. Work hard and be a good people person. Same old cliches that hold a lot of truth in them. If you want to get rich quick, like millions, you basically need to create something that a lot of people want and sell it to people on a large scale very quickly. If you want to get rich slow, you basically need to fiscally responsible. My only advice is follow your passion, your goals. Stay true to your values. Work hard, but don't completely neglect your social or love life, because friends and romance are something that even billionaires cannot achieve sometimes. And if you know there's something holding you back, be quick to fix it, whether it's a certain friend or relationship, or a destructive personal habit, or whatever. I'm not a millionaire, but I do alright. 1 business at a time. Learn from mistakes and keep moving. 2. Regret not starting my own business sooner, like when I was in college. It's all about risk rewards. The younger you are, more risk you can take. That is, no family, no lifestyle standards to maintain, etc. First million in the food business. 3. The first million usually involves a partnership with people. If the idea is successful, you will naturally want to branch out on your own. Advice. 1. Read books on creating good habits and mindset. Success starts with you. If you are spending 20 hours a week watching crap TV, you won't get anywhere. 2. Take risks that are calculated and smart, not just because you have a good feeling about something. 3. Your idea does not have to be unique. Anything can make money. It's about identifying a need. A town may only have one pizza shop but needs 2. There were coffee companies before Starbucks, and there were burrito places before Chipotle. 4. Living cheaply while you are making decent money is the best way to save. Living with parents equals 90% savings. Don't buy expensive cars, gadgets, clothes, etc. Save and reinvest equals Warren Buffett's snowball. 5. Hard work, dedication and patience. Business requires time. You may not see results for a couple of years. 6. Know when to exit. If it's not working, analyze every part of the business and yourself and think how you can make it better. Learn from failure and try again and again and again. Amma.